In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 7, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Pelicans vs. Sacramento Kings. The New Orleans Pelicans recently enjoyed a favorable run, securing victories in 9 of their last 13 games. However, their momentum took a hit when they faced the Clippers, suffering a 111-95 loss. Notable contributors in that game were Jonas Valanciunas and Jordan Hawkins, each tallying 13 points, while Zion Williamson, C.J. McCollum, and Brandon Ingram added 12 points apiece. Despite a collective shooting performance of 35% from the field and 12 of 29 from the three-point line, the Pelicans struggled to recover after a challenging second quarter where they only managed to score 15 points. The deficit expanded, reaching as much as 31 points in the second half, before a late rally allowed them to salvage a relatively respectable final score. In contrast, the Sacramento Kings have been on an upward trajectory, winning 4 of their last 5 games, and are seeking a third consecutive victory following a 135-130 home win against the Raptors. De'Aaron Fox led the team with 24 points, while Domantas Sabonis contributed 24 points, 15 rebounds, and 11 assists. Keegan Murray chipped in with 18 points and 12 rebounds. The Kings displayed impressive shooting percentages, hitting 52% from the field and 21 of 38 from beyond the arc. Despite a late charge from the Raptors, the Kings managed to maintain their lead. As the teams prepare for their upcoming clash, the Pelicans have ruled out Jose Alvarado, and Zion Williamson is listed as questionable. Meanwhile, the Kings are monitoring Trey Lyles, who is also questionable for the game. The New Orleans Pelicans have demonstrated dominance against the Sacramento Kings in their 3 encounters this season, emerging victorious each time. The Pelicans have exploited their strength in the front line, particularly against Domantas Sabonis, who lacks the rim protection seen in Jonas Valanciunas. In the previous matchups, both Valanciunas and Williamson capitalized on this advantage, boasting shooting percentages over 65% from the field. If the Kings focus on shoring up their defense in the paint, it could create opportunities for the Pelicans' wing players. In the last 10 games, the Pelicans have showcased the best defensive rating in the NBA and the second best net rating. With Herbert Jones and Trey Murphy 3 available, they possess the tools to neutralize key players like Malik Monk. If the Pelicans can contain Monk, the Kings may struggle to reverse their fortunes against a defensively strong Pelicans team. Zion Williamson, despite participating in a walkthrough on Saturday, remains questionable for the upcoming game. While there is uncertainty about his availability, assuming he plays, the Pelicans are expected to perform well. Their recent basketball prowess, excluding the game against the Clippers, is evident in victories against formidable opponents such as the Jazz, Lakers, Nets, and Timberwolves, with an average margin of 16 points. Anticipating a more efficient shooting performance, the Pelicans aim to exploit the Kings' subpar defense. New Orleans has maintained consistent three-point efficiency throughout the season, boasting a 37.4% success rate. Additionally, they rank 10th in mid-range field goal percentage. The Kings, on the other hand, exhibit weaknesses in perimeter defense, allowing opponents to shoot 38% from beyond the arc. By negating Sacramento's three-point threat, the Pelicans aim to limit the Kings' offensive capabilities and maintain control of the game. While the Sacramento Kings have experienced inconsistency this season, the Pelicans have proven their dominance with a 20-15-1 against the spread record and 3 victories against the Kings. Despite the Kings' status as favorites at home, the Pelicans remain confident in extending their winning streak against their opponents. Before their setback against the Clippers, the Pelicans stood as one of the conference's hottest teams. The Kings, after overcoming a challenging stretch, are gradually turning things around. Despite the Kings being favored at home, the Pelicans' track record against them this season suggests a continuation of success. Consequently, the New Orleans Pelicans to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Anticipating the game's dynamics, the Pelicans, known for attempting the 7th most rim field goals in the NBA, are poised to exploit the Kings' vulnerabilities in the paint. With Sacramento ranking low in personal fouls and blocks, the Pelicans, led by Zion, Ingram, and Valanciunas, are expected to capitalize on layups, dunks, and free throw opportunities. Conversely, the Kings possess a formidable offense, emphasizing ball sharing with an average of nearly 29 assists per game. While the Pelicans may present challenges with perimeter defense, the Kings are likely to attack the rim and mid-range areas, avoiding settling for unfavorable long-range shots. Despite New Orleans' defensive shortcomings in these zones, the Kings' offensive strategy could prove effective. In terms of pace, both the Kings and Pelicans fall in the middle of the pack. With the potential absence of Zion Williamson, the Pelicans might adjust their tempo, relying on Brandon Ingram and C.J. McCollum to control the ball. The total has frequently surpassed expectations in Sacramento's recent home games, and a faster pace is anticipated in this matchup. Sacramento's offensive proficiency, especially at the Kia Center, coupled with Zion's potential absence, suggests a higher scoring game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Dallas Mavericks. On Sunday night, a highly anticipated matchup is set to unfold in the Western Conference as the Minnesota Timberwolves square off against the Dallas Mavericks. The Timberwolves currently hold the top spot in the Western Conference, boasting a 2-game lead over the Thunder, while the Mavericks sit in the 6th position. The recent performances of both teams have been noteworthy, with the Timberwolves securing a convincing 122-95 road victory against the Houston Rockets, and the Mavericks dominating the Portland Trail Blazers with a 139-103 win at home. This marks the third encounter of the season between these two teams, with Minnesota having previously clinched victories both at home and on the road. The Minnesota Timberwolves showcase a solid performance record, having won 5 of their last 8 games. Their recent triumph was a commanding 122-95 road win against the Houston Rockets, where Anthony Edwards led the charge with 24 points and 5 assists. Karl Anthony Towns contributed 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists, while Jaden McDaniels and Naz Reid each added 16 points. The Timberwolves demonstrated efficiency with a 52% field goal shooting and 14 successful three-pointers out of 33 attempts. Their dominance was evident with a 32-point first quarter, building a 10-point lead by halftime and a resounding 38-point fourth quarter to secure a decisive victory. On the other hand, the Dallas Mavericks, riding a hot streak with 3 wins in their last 4 games, delivered a commanding 139-103 home win against the Trail Blazers. Kyrie Irving led the charge with 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, supported by Jaden Hardy and Tim Hardaway Jr., each contributing 19 points. The Mavericks displayed impressive shooting percentages of 58% from the field and 17 of 38 from beyond the arc, sealing the game early with a 40-point explosion in the third quarter. The injury report for the Mavericks raises concerns, with key players like Luka Doncic, Grant Williams, Markieff Morris, and Richaun Holmes listed as questionable. In contrast, the Timberwolves enter the matchup in relatively good health, maintaining consistency in their lineups throughout the season. The matchup highlights the strategic elements each team brings to the court, with the Timberwolves relying on smart point guard Mike Conley, rim protector Rudy Gobert, scorer Karl Anthony Towns, and budding superstar Anthony Edwards. However, the Mavericks face uncertainties due to multiple injuries, and the absence of Doncic, their star player, could significantly impact the game. The recent stretch for the Mavericks includes matchups against lower-ranked Western Conference teams, such as 2 games against the Blazers and 1 against the Jazz, where they suffered a 37-point loss. As the Timberwolves strive to maintain their top position in the West, games like these become crucial. Individual performances of superstars often dictate NBA outcomes, and in this case, Edwards' impressive scoring streak contrasts with the potential limitations of Doncic due to an ankle injury. Furthermore, the Mavericks' frontcourt injuries may allow Towns and Gobert to dominate the paint. Despite the Timberwolves experiencing a slight setback in the past couple of weeks, reflected in increased turnovers and a dip in defensive performance, the betting line suggests the likelihood of Luka Doncic's absence for the Mavericks. The Timberwolves have a favorable track record against the Mavericks, winning 5 of the last 6 meetings. The overall season performance also favors the Timberwolves, Timberwolves, who enter the game in better form following their convincing win against the Rockets, while the Mavericks possess the capability of causing an upset, especially if Doncic is unavailable. The Timberwolves' recent strong performances position them as favorites to capitalize on this opportunity. Therefore, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Looking at the season's previous encounters between these teams, both matchups have resulted in totals falling below the set threshold. Dallas, known for its faster pace, faces potential challenges in this matchup due to injury concerns. The absence or limited availability of key players like Doncic, Lively II, Grant Williams, and Markieff Morris, along with Dante Exum's confirmed absence, could impact the Mavericks' offensive firepower. Recent trends indicate the Mavericks going under in 2 of their last 3 games, and their lone over result was against the Blazers, where they scored 139 points. However, replicating such a high score against the defensively efficient Timberwolves seems unlikely. Jan McDaniel's defensive prowess on the wing and Gobert's rim protection further contribute to Minnesota's defensive strength. The Timberwolves' recent games also trend towards lower totals, with the last 5 contests all staying under. Considering offensive and defensive averages along with the team's pace, a projected total of 228 points is derived. Adjusting for the average pace of 103.7 possessions, the final predicted total of 236 is only slightly above the set line. With Dallas facing multiple injuries and Minnesota showcasing a strong defensive presence, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus Denver Nuggets. The Detroit Pistons have been experiencing a prolonged cold streak, having suffered defeats in 31 of their last 32 games overall. Their recent hope for a turnaround was dashed after a close 113-109 road loss to the Warriors, marking their 3rd consecutive defeat. Cade Cunningham emerged as a standout performer, leading the team with 30 points on 13 of 22 shooting. Kevin Knox contributed 18 points off the bench, and Jalen Duren provided 13 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Despite their efforts, the Pistons shot 44% from the field and 13 of 44 from beyond the arc. The game remained closely contested until the Warriors pulled away in the late stages of the 3rd quarter. Contrastingly, the Denver Nuggets have been in impressive form, securing victories in 8 of their last 10 games. However, they seek redemption following a narrow 122-120 loss to the Magic. Nikola Jokic led the charge with 29 points and 8 assists, supported by Michael Porter Jr.'s 22 points and Jamal Murray's 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. The Nuggets shot 50% from the field and 9 of 33 from three-point range, establishing an 18-point lead with 37 first-quarter points. Despite their strong start, the Nuggets faltered, ultimately succumbing to the Magic's late-game heroics. In terms of player availability, the Pistons continue to miss Isaiah Stewart and Monty Morris, while the Nuggets approach the matchup with a complete roster. The Nuggets, favored to dominate, face the challenge of their 4th game this week, raising questions about their motivation against the league's bottom team. The emotional victory over the Warriors, followed by the loss to the Magic, leaves uncertainties about their performance. The Pistons, struggling to secure wins, have shown competitiveness in their recent close games. While an easy win for the Nuggets is anticipated, the possibility of them resting starters early opens the door for the Pistons to cover the spread against the sizable line. So the Detroit Pistons to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Notably, the Nuggets exhibit a slower tempo style in the NBA, making it unlikely for the Pistons to dictate a faster pace. Considering the Pistons' ball security issues, dead possessions may arise during the game. Despite the Pistons' tendency to send opponents to the free throw line, the Nuggets have not been particularly effective from the charity stripe this season, mitigating this advantage. Furthermore, the Pistons' solid performance on the defensive glass is expected to limit Denver's second chance points. Consequently, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.